welcome to my Awakening Astrology and Counseling video series. This astrology series is going to focus on Saturn and Saturn through the elements. Every person has Saturn in their chart, and to find out what element Saturn lies in your chart, you can go to astrocafe/natal charts and input your birth data, and there you can find out your whole astrological chart, but particularly where Saturn lies. So Saturn is one of those feared and dreaded planets and is incredibly misunderstood. Saturn has grown to be one of my favorite planets in astrology. So Saturn's kind of one of the heavy hitters, and Saturn is very prominent and strong right now, particularly like 2017 to 2021. So Saturn is ruled by the planet Capricorn, or Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. And so if you know anything about astrology, you'll understand a bit more about Saturn by knowing about Capricorn. So Saturn rules many things. They call Saturn the Lord of Karma. So Saturn rules the consequences of your actions, taking responsibility, integrity, boundaries, structures, boundaries as they relate to freedom. Saturn rules contraction. Saturn rules the place in your chart that you're going to have to work a little harder. And Saturn also rewards hard work. So the beauty of Saturn is if you work hard, Saturn will gift you with results that are deep and lasting and profound. Because Saturn is ruled by earth sign, it's exalted in earth signs, and earth signs move extremely slowly and deeply and create lasting, profound change, and Saturn's sort of the king of that process. Saturn can be cold, it can be rigid. It's called the father principle, so it's sort of stern. And everyone has Saturn in their chart, and depending on what element you have Saturn in, it will let you know where and how to free up those blockages that Saturn creates in your life. So we're going to start with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. As we know, the fire signs rule spontaneity, brashness, self-acceptance and self-expression. They're the most dramatic, dynamic, and along with the spontaneity, there can be a level of recklessness or carelessness. All of those are sort of the darker and lighter sides of fire signs. So when you have your Saturn in a fire sign, what it does is it contracts or limits your self-expression. And so the process of freeing up that self-expression, and that sort of heavy Saturn sits on it, is that Saturn will give you a lot of responsibility, discipline, and boundaries with how you express yourself, which will save you from some of the pitfalls that the fire signs have, which is being so spontaneous and so free and so expressive that they can be reckless, not think before they do things, and actually cause some danger or harm to themselves or others. So Saturn puts the brakes on that, and when you have Saturn in a fire sign, part of your work in this lifetime is freeing up your self-expression in a very healthy way, where you have the healthy boundaries around your self-expression that gives it a lot of freedom to shine. So now we'll move to Saturn in the earth signs. And as I said, Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, or Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And so the earth signs move very slowly. They're very grounded, they're very practical, they're very earthy. When Saturn is in an earth sign, there is a very deep fear of change and transformation. And so there's sort of a stuckness that happens in life. And so when you have Saturn in an earth sign, your job is to learn how to let go and learn how to allow transformation to happen in your life. And when you do, because of the practical earthiness of the earth signs in Saturn, is that you'll experience a lot of change in a slow, practical, deep, and very fundamental way in your life. So it'll allow change to happen, but not in a fast way, not in a scary way, and not in a dangerous way. It'll be a very slow, gentle, but effective pace. So yes, Saturn in Earth signs is about letting go and allowing transformation and change to happen in your life. So Saturn in the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So the air signs are very much about our social communication skills. So it's not so much our deep intimacy with others, like one-on-one or in close groups. It's about our social exchange. And so when you have Saturn sitting in an air sign, it sort of sits on or squashes that ability to move about the world socially. It can bring about some self-consciousness, some fear of being made a fool of. It kind of crushes or limits that kind of social, more superficial social, diplomatic, graceful, harmonious interaction that some people seem to have naturally. When you have Saturn in an air sign, it will stop that flow, and so it might be in your lifetime something that you need to learn. It's sort of learning how to move with the more superficial social graces of life, and in doing that and in using that in integrity and, you know, not for manipulation, not for getting what you want, but really to like create social harmony around you and social harmony in your life. So that would be the work of someone with Saturn in an air sign. And then moving on to water, our lovely little water signs, again, are always the emotions. And so with Saturn in a water sign, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, there's a fear of expressing raw emotion. It could be a fear of being vulnerable in a more intimate setting. Water is always intimate and very personal. So on a personal level, there can be some fear and contraction about expressing how you truly feel about something. And so working with a Saturn in water is getting comfortable and feeling safe expressing how you feel. And because it's Saturn, the expression will be like with good boundaries and in integrity, because, you know, you could express how you feel in a really messy, sloppy, painful way. But Saturn, because of its boundaries and structure, will keep that from happening and will make sort of this safe, boundaried, disciplined, in integrity expression of emotion in a way that someone can really hear you, and to where more intimacy will be possible in your life. So every time you relate to the contraction of Saturn with hard work, awareness, presence, love, then that will gift you this opening. And through the elements, the opening will depend on which element is featured in your chart. But it's a really, really powerful opening and awakening process to embrace and befriend your Saturn and come into presence and loving awareness of the issue being blocked or the fear, and then bringing that out into the light and having healing around it. So really beautiful planet with a really bad reputation. Next, in our next video, we're going to move on to Pluto, which is, if there's anything heavier than Saturn, it's Pluto. So we'll move on to that next. If you want a more detailed reading, you can go to my website, www.santafeastrology.net, and you can sign up there for an astrological counseling session, which will include all the planets in much more detail than I've spoken about here. All right, take care. Thanks.